Cheap and cheerful or cheap and nasty? It's quite difficult to know at the lower price points. Keep watching. Hello, welcome back. It's GotAUkulele review day, as ever with a summary video review. You'll always find the link to the full written review on the website below these videos. Some other links down there, which is what these people have done, and this is my weekly thank you, because I am not a commercial site. I don't get paid by brands, I don't do product placement, I don't do adverts, so I can only really keep doing this and keep going thanks to the very kind generosity of people who throw tips and help me get hold of stuff. It's so much appreciated. If you want to help out, you'll find those links below the video and on the website. And as I say every week, why not subscribe to the channel? If you hit the bell symbol, you'll get notified of new stuff that comes up, and that will help my videos get more reach to more people. Much appreciated if you do that as well. Okay, so I talk about cheap and cheerful or cheap and nasty, and this one is a very cheap ukulele. However, that is not to say that this is one of these no-name Amazon-only brands. The brand here is a brand that actually makes quite a range of instruments, going up to some fairly sort of mid-priced towards high-end, and I know one or two people who are extremely well talented arrangers and performers who play this brand. The brand is Leho, and this is one of their entry levels. This is branded as My Leho. It's the same brand, and this is the My Leho 146 series concert. The 146 series and the 156 series, I think, are the two entry levels. The 146s are the flat, brightly coloured instruments. The 156s look more wooden, and they both come in sopranos and concert scales in various colours, this being the 146 in blue. And yeah, I know I put some sneak peeks up of this one online, as I always do before the review, and people were saying that looks nasty, this is going to be terrible, he's going to trash it. But remember what I said, Leho do make some very nice looking instruments and very nice sounding instruments based on some of the performances I've seen people play with them. So this is the absolute cheaper end though, designed for beginners. It's called My Leho. It's clearly aimed probably at kids, first timers, that kind of thing. No problem with that. They've got every right to jump on the ukulele wagon as well. But let's get into it. It is flatly coloured, but actually let's go into the details, because what we have here is the body here, the back and sides, are made of a plastic polycarbonate ABS, very much in the style of the Macala Dolphins, very much in the style of the Flight Travels, very much in the style of the Magic Fluke Fleas. So I don't have a problem with that as a concept, and it can work very well. And like those, this has got a laminate wooden top. They specify this top as basswood, basswood. It's pretty thick, and you can see a bit of the grain through this blue finish, and obviously you don't see any grain through the blue on the back because it is plastic. If you can see inside, I'm trying to show you the ribs on the plastic on the inside there that you can see. So yeah, laminate top dropped onto a plastic bowl back. It's a concept, as I say, that has worked very well, and that's what Leho have done with this one. It's also very tough. Great for, you know, kids if you're going to drop and clunk it around, because it's pretty hard to break that back. So that's quite nice to see, really. The bridge is made of rosewood. It's a tie bar. It's very tidy and smooth, but it looks like it's just bare wood. It needs darkening, oiling, or something rubbing over it. It just looks like it's come out of the wood shop. But it is very tidy, fitted with a straight-topped ABS saddle. There's no other decoration other than this blue finish. As I say, it comes in a range of other colours and sort of crackle paint finishes and things like that. Lots to choose from, pinks, purples, glitzy stuff. This one's just in blue. And I must say, though, this finish, it's got a satin coat feeling to it. It's pretty thin, it's pretty tidy. I can't really find any flaws. There's a bit of grain here that I find a little bit ugly. A little bit of pooling around the edge of the fingerboard, but do you know what? It's pretty tidy everywhere. The only other thing you'll see on the body is it comes with a strap button, which is nice to see because this is plastic. You can hear it's plastic. And that's not so straightforward for drilling into, so I don't know whether they've bolted that. I'll have a look inside later. Talking about inside, it's pretty tidy in there. Wooden braces on the top and those plastic reinforcement fins on the plastic moulding on the sides, nothing on the back. The top is very thick laminate, as you can see, so that's not necessarily a good thing. The neck wood is not specified, and it's stained in the blue as well, and quite dark down here, so I can't see if there's a joint, but there is a joint up here, halfway up the neck. That's satin, so that's nice. It tapers down to a pretty generic nut at 35mm 2728 from G2A, but it's not overly rounded on the back here, and this very long taper, sort of Martin-esque, does help with comfort, I find. I'd still want the neck a bit wider myself, but it's not too bad, actually, considering what I say about this. Things. Fingerboard, rosewood, again, same gripe as I've got with the bridge. It's just very, very bare looking and actually quite shoddy and sort of scruffy in places around here. Edge bound in black to hide the fret ends, but the frets are... they're sharp. They're not the sharpest I've ever felt, but they are. They can feel them, and that's not right. You get 18 of those with 14 to the body. Position dots in the standard places. Pearly face outs at 5, 7, 10 and 12. And white dots on the side. And this is always the one I can never focus. White dots on the side as well. So this is all fairly standard. Plastic nut. Incidentally... the setup on this is great. It's 2.5mm above at the 12s, which is fine. And I wouldn't even adjust the nut either. That's sitting pretty nicely, actually. I like that. So that's out the box setup. This came from a drop shipper. Beyond that, up to the headstock. I don't know what you call that. Is it a crown? It's a sort of a crown, but it's different. And that's the My Leho logo screen printed on. Yeah, all right, fair enough. And the tuners are parts bin, very cheap open gears with these black collars on the front, plastic collars, very much like Macala Dolphin stuff. Small black plastic buttons. They're really grindy. They're really sort of odd to use. They jump around quite a lot, but they do hold okay. So they're a bit cheap. And it looks like these are ukulele strings, but actually they're a bit translucent to me, and they don't come with an ukulele string tag, which ukulele require you to provide, so I don't think they are, so I don't know what they are. And there we are, that's the deal. You don't get anything else with it. Pricing, it's all over the place. You don't see a lot of these about, but they're not in the normal music stores. I've seen them listed up to about 50 quid. I've also seen one guy who's selling them for £15. So it's hard for me to review on the price, but I'm going to review on the price that I paid for it from a drop shipper. 25 quid. £25 is not a lot of money. Right, so we'll go through it now and get on to playing it. So I think you've probably noticed that this isn't quite the horror show that people might have thought it was. Oh, look, I get some people don't like these brightly coloured instruments, fine. But this is pretty solidly built down here. The finish is pretty good. I'd want to darken the fingerboard and the bridge. The fret ends are a bit sharp. The tuners are very low grade. But I've seen a lot worse. And I even kind of find that neck to be fairly comfortable. First big gripe though, the weight. This is 710 grams, which is heavy for a concert. And it's horribly body heavy. It feels like I'm holding a cricket bat. It's all off balance, it's all down this way, and it feels so heavy. I don't like the weight of it at all. And considering this is probably being marketed at young kids and stuff like that, I don't think that's great. I can kind of see why they put the strap on, because I'd want to be wearing a strap to play this. But other than that though, as I say, the setup, remarkably good out of the box. And we'll do the basics now. The other reason I don't think these are ukulele strings is I've been tuning this week, and I just tuned it before I set the camera running and it's gone out again, so I will try and keep the tuner on and keep a check on that as I'm playing it so as not to be unfair to it. Right, basics. The volume. Good. And that sustain is not bad. Neither are the greatest, but compared to some of those plinky plonky boxes you'll buy on Amazon for this sort of money, or even quite a bit more money, that's quite alright. What I'm not liking about the tone is some plastic ukuleles like the Flea, for example, don't sound like there's any plastic in them at all. They sound very natural. The Macala Dolphin sounds very natural. The Flight Travels sound very natural. This has a plastic edge, an echoey quality. Yeah, lunchboxy, tubby. But you know what? As I say, I've heard worse. I've seen worse on the setup and the quality control, and I've heard worse for more money. 25 quid, you know? Sorry. Yeah, a bit tubby. I prefer it strummed. Finger picking, it seems a little bit sort of choked, whereas strumming is a bit more bouncy. Look, this doesn't get a recommendation from me, but it doesn't actually do horrifically badly on the scoring either, because look, I couldn't live with that weight, and the tone's not really for me, but then I'm not in the market for an instrument that looks like this, really. But if kids, or a starter, or your first ukuleles, particularly if you can pick one of these up at £25, as I say, I have seen things that cost considerably more than this, which are considerably more lousy than this. Leho, good name, you see. I think, even though they've done these cheap instruments, and it has one or two flaws to it, it's actually largely put together pretty well. It's tough as old boots. The volume's great, the sustain's nice, a little bit constrained on the tone, but you know what, it works like a ukulele should. It plays, it's accurate enough. You wouldn't be making a huge mistake if you bought one of these, or bought one of these for a child, or your nephew, or niece, or whatever. Yeah. It's alright. The My Leho 146 series concert, it's actually the MLUC 146, also available in sopranos and a range of other colours and styles and finishes and that kind of thing. Not wholly awful at all, and it's quite nice to have one of these that doesn't just sort of make me want to weep. You've seen some of those on this channel. There we are. Thank you very much for watching. Right now, next 2 weeks, I've got things on with the family at the weekends, so I'm not going to be with you for a fortnight, and I am back sort of mid-early December. Then we'll have the rundown into Christmas with more ukulele reviews, but I'm not here for the next 2. Sorry about that. I'll be back with you as soon as I can, but in the meantime, go safe, and thanks for your ongoing support. It's really much appreciated. See you soon.